Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining this roundtable. The Roundtable Committee has granted me a moment of your time just to make an announcement about some organizational changes that have happened on the National Council level. The National Outdoor Programs and Properties Subcommittee has decided to merge two long-standing committees, the Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Committees, into one. So it is with great pleasure that I announce that we are now the National Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Subcommittee of the Boy Scouts of America. Now, the merger of these two committees will allow the BSA to provide a strong network of dedicated volunteers focused on the goal of supporting our councils. And by using the resources of both of these subcommittees, we think we will be able to greatly improve our outreaches and our support structure that our councils rely on so much. So how does this affect you on the local council level? Well, we don't think it should affect you at all. As a matter of fact, we believe that our new support structure that we hope to have fully in place by January will make it much easier for you and your council, regardless of the way it is organized, to have the support it needs to provide the programs that so richly enhance the scouting program. We are not suggesting in any way that councils should organize themselves like this. Instead, we hope to support your council's organizational structure, regardless of the way they have determined it is best to serve their scouting needs. So thank you for taking the time to just hear me explain this new merger, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's roundtable.
Good evening, everybody. It is right on the hour according to my watch, so we will go ahead and get started with our December roundtable. This month, we're going to introduce you to the newly combined Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Subcommittee, tell you a little bit about who's who and what we all do on this committee. So we have several people that are going to present tonight and talk about the things that they do. So let's go ahead and go to our next slide. Just so you know, as always, we have a survey, and we will put the link in the chat throughout the meeting so that you can go and take a look at that and fill it out. Please make sure that you fill this out, because this helps us to know what you liked and maybe what you didn't like about the roundtable and the things that you're interested in learning about in the future. Many of our roundtables have already been based off of the feedback that we've received from the survey that we have put out. Also, just so you're aware, again, like it said on the screen earlier, this is being recorded. It will be posted on outdoorethics-bsa.org. And if you are a youth participant, please make sure to turn off your camera. That way that we won't record your face on that recording. And also, please make sure that as you enter, if you're not already muted, make sure to mute yourself so that we can hear the presenters as they go. All right, couple quick announcements. First off, super exciting, save the date. We have scheduled the 2022 National Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Conference. It's going to be next year on November 10th through 13th, and it'll be at Burt Adams Scout Camp in Covington, Georgia. As soon as we have more information and registration opens, that will all be posted on Outdoor Ethics-BSA, and you'll be able to register that way. So we will keep you updated on the progress of that at each of these roundtables. We will definitely send out information about it.
It's not plugged in.
I'm sorry. All right, and again, please make sure to mute yourselves as you come in. Oops, sorry, got stuff going on here. All right. Continuing on. So tonight, we'll go ahead and do our Pledge of Allegiance, Oath and Law, and the Outdoor Code. We'll then turn the time over to Michelle Bierstadt for our safety moment about the annual health and medical record, and then we'll go into the body of our presentation. All right, so if you have questions, and we know you will throughout the presentation, please make sure to type them into the chat function so that we can pick up those questions. We'll have several people watching for the questions and moderating the presentation so that we can make sure that we answer them and our presenters are aware of what questions you have. And as always, again, you can come back and reference this later when we get the recording posted online. All right. Please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. All right, please make the Scout sign and follow me in the Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. And then the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And then the outdoor code. As an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, be careful with fire, be considerate in the outdoors, and be conservation-minded. 2. All right, Michelle, we will turn it over to you now for our safety moment.
Okay, Matt, can you go to the next page? So our safety moment today is on the annual health and medical record. For everyone's safety, for all scouting participants, youth and adults. I know with being off and so many Zoom meetings, people got out of the habit of carrying it with them. And so I know in our council, we've had several moments where the health and safety record for the scout is there, but the adults are forgotten. And so I wanted to touch on that tonight. Matt, one more. So from the BSA website, the scouting adventure camping trips, high adventure excursions, and having fun are important to everyone in scouting, and so is your safety and well-being. Completing the annual health and medical record is the first step in making sure that you have a great scouting experience. Again, we're really good at making sure that all of the scouts have theirs. For some reason, we seem to think that 5-year-olds are going to get hurt more frequently than the 45-year-olds will. As a longtime scout leader, I can tell you it's about 50-50. So we are just as likely. A slip, a fall, heat exhaustion, a heart attack. Do you know who's going to need medical attention? Be safe. Be sure all participants, from the Lions all the way to the adults, have a medical record available at events. This includes the day events, overnight camps, trainings, including Leave No Trace trainer, master educator, outdoor ethics orientation. All of those should have a health and medical safety record. The OA, jamborees, and high adventure. If you can't remember where to get to it, I've included the little link there on the slide. And so if you go back, you can pull that up. And one more, Matt. To remember which ones you need to update all of them annually. Part A is the informed consent. This lets them take pictures, lets you go to the hospital, or lets a leader take you to the hospital and say, yep, fix me up. Part B, the general health history. This is where I see the most times where adults either don't fill it out or fill it out in a hurry and miss some important information. For example, it is really hard as a scout leader to find out when you are on a backpacking trek that one of your people has a history of a heart problem and forgot their medication. That is not the time to find that out. So as a participant, please help your leaders out by having that general health history filled out completely. And as a leader, make sure that you have reviewed them before you leave for any camp out, trek, or even if you are the trainer, make sure you have that. And then if you are going on a high adventure or an event over 72 hours, even summer camp or a 3-day event, make sure you have your physical. And this is where you'll discuss with your doctor what you're going to be doing so that we can make sure that you are healthy enough for any trek that you are taking. And then if you are going on a high adventure trip, there is a high adventure risk advisory for the adventure activities at Philmont, Sea Base, Northern Tier, and Summit. So those are the 4 parts. Again, you can pull them right off of the BSA website at scouting.org, and make sure you fill those out as we come into the end of December and into January. Now's a great time to be looking at yours and your units. With that, that ends our safety moment.
All right, thank you, Michelle. We want to take a moment and just remember our dear friend, Dan Howells, who was a member of the original Outdoor Ethics Task Force and the subcommittee, and was very, very active. He passed away this past October. So if we could go ahead and just have a moment of silence for Dan. Thank you.
And
Yes.
I'd like to also say that the Leave No Trace Center has set up a page for Dan. The family has asked that if anybody is going to send a tribute or monetary value to, please send it to Leave No Trace in Dan's name. There's a page on the website, and I believe Matt has it up here in that light color. And the fund is going to be for BSA members to take master educator courses. That was one of Dan's favorite and most awesome jobs that he did in the BSA. And he was quite concerned always that we had enough master educators to keep everybody trained.
Thank you.
I'd
Yes.
like
So
to also add, I've posted the link in the chat, and I've posted some other information there as well. So please be sure and check the chat throughout the meeting tonight. Thanks.
all right. Thank you. Yes. If you're able to, please go to follow the link that's in the chat and contribute to that Memorial Scholarship Fund. Dan was a great guy. He was very, very passionate about Leave No Trace. Worked in land management as a smoke jumper. He was the instructor on my master educator course, so I learned from him at Philmont, which was an amazing experience. So he is very missed, but his legacy can live on through the fund that's been set up by Leave No Trace. All right. With that said, a few of our presenters or committee members couldn't be here tonight, so they prepared video messages. So Marshall is we have 3 divisions that we work with now that we'll discuss in a moment. Marshall is our manager for the Eastern Division, and he'll introduce himself and tell you about what he does here.
Hey, Scouters. Welcome to our Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Roundtable. I am Marshallberger. I am the East Division Manager. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. 2 things. One, you should know though, this voice is a little raspy. I just had some surgery and that's the cause of it. And so thank you for putting up with this voice over the next few minutes. I'm doing this by video because I am actually on vacation with my wife. So I apologize that I'm not with you live tonight, but I am sure I will see many of you in the future. So I have been the Northeast Region Outdoor Ethics Coordinator for at least 5 or 6 years now. And with the transition into territories, obviously the region is gone, and I now have this new job as the manager. I'll be working with the coordinators of our new zone system, and there'll be 6 zones in this Eastern Division. In addition to that work, I have been the liaison to Philmont for the Master Educator courses that we've been running there. Spring one is for the staff, but the fall one is for the scouting public. And if you've never taken a Master Educator course, excuse me, and you're looking to do so, there's no better place than Philmont in the fall. So if you're interested, give me a buzz. Secondly, I'm also the liaison to the Order of the Arrow for the National Order of the Arrow Conference, known as NOAC. This year, it's going to be held in at the University of Tennessee, the last week of July. Outdoor Ethics does a fairly big program there, and I'm looking to build a team of 10 people. I have a few on board already. We do a number of different projects there. Of course, we run our Outdoor Ethics exhibit and display. We will be doing an impact trail. We will be running some outdoor ethics games. We'll be in the conservation village with a number of other like-minded entities, Conservation USA. A new part of us that will be doing the Distinguished Conservation Service Award. There'll be a booth for that. Leave No Trace trainers will be there. Tread Lightly folks will be there. OAOA, of course, will be there. So it's going to, the last NOAC, it was terrific. This time it's going to be even larger. And so we're looking forward to that. We run a Leave No Trace trainer course. We've had as many as 50 people sign up for that course. So that's a busy time. In addition to that, we also do regular NOAC training on a couple of different topics, including the Outdoor Ethics Guide, as well as Outdoor Ethics in the OA. If you are an arrow person and you're interested in coming to work at NOAC, please let me know. If you're not an arrow person, still contact me and we can talk about it. So, as I indicated, I am the Eastern Division Manager for our Eastern Division zones. I'm going to share my slide with you, the slides, and we'll go through some of that now. And here we are. So, the first slide is the organizational chart for the National Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Subcommittee. We are part of the National Outdoor Programs and Properties Committee. Over on the left side, you'll see Program Operations, which is the section that we're part of. It's chaired by our good friend Paula Booth. And the other two managers besides me are Chandra Clark in the west and Ted Weiland over in the mid to south. Mark Durant, who you've already met, is our technology person, and our Cub Scout initiatives are done by our good friends Barbara Saunders and John Spencer. I'm not going to go through the rest of the chart, but you can do it at your leisure. So there's the small operational organizational chart for operations. You can see the second line of green brackets include the West, Mid, and East divisions. So as I indicated earlier, our job is to work with the coordinators for those new zones, and the coordinators work directly with the COEAs, as well as the conservation committees, and indeed an outdoor ethics committee. Here's a pictorial of that. Obviously, we are the blue eastern states. We have 15 states, the District of Columbia, Transatlantic Council, and that all equals 80 councils. And very quickly, we have our E1 zone, that's E for Eastern. One is New England. 2 is the 14 councils of New York. 3 is New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, in the eastern part of Pennsylvania. 4 is the mid-Pennsylvania and western Pennsylvania. 5 are the Virginias, and 6 are the Carolinas. So that constitutes the new Eastern Division in our new transition period of the BSA. So that's it. I wanted to welcome you all. I wanted to say that in my mind, there's not much that's as important as what we do for scouting. If we can make ethical scouts in the outdoors, then that translates into ethical scouts and citizens in the indoors. What we do is important. And I want to thank you for your enthusiasm, for your participation tonight, and for your being part of this outdoor ethics community. Thank you, and good night.
All right, with that said, we will go on to our Midway slash South Division. Ted also was unable to be here tonight, so he has also prepared a video, and we'll go ahead and go on to his.
Good evening. My name is Ted Weiland, and I apologize for not being able to be with you at this roundtable this evening. So I've recorded a short video to hopefully catch you up with who I am and what's going on with the Distinguished Conservation Service Award. So my name is Ted Weiland. I am the Midway South Division Manager, and I work with the National Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Subcommittee. So what we've got, or at least a little bit about my background, is that I am a professor of chemistry at Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where I've taught for a little over 10 years. I'm a Leave No Trace Master Educator, and I used to work with the Central Region when we had a Central Region on the Hornaday Award when we used to have a Hornaday Award. I've also worked on the conservation staff at Northern Tier and at Philmont, and I still have a role as a key volunteer in the Order of the Arrow Outdoor Program Subcommittee. So I keep myself pretty busy, and I'm also a lodge advisor for my local Order of the Arrow lodge. So what I want to talk a little bit about is my role on the committee here. So as I mentioned, I am the Midway South Division Manager, and part of my job is to help support outdoor ethics and conservation coordinators who oversee these things we're going to call zones. Okay, so zones are one of the ways that we've decided to split up our different divisions, the 3 different divisions across the United States. I'm also going to work with council outdoor ethics advocates and council conservation committees. So because of my experience working on the conservation task force and with the awards and my roles in conservation at the different high adventure bases and working with my own conservation committee here at my council for the last 8 years, that's a situation that I find myself fairly well prepared to do. And part of my big plans are to help councils find resources and support training events that are going to occur either within their councils or near their councils. So that's what I'm hoping to do. Now, a little bit about these zones. So we've roughly broken out these zones into approximately these geographical regions. And what we're looking at is the councils that largely reside inside these states. Okay, so we're hoping that we can use this to maintain it, these relationships as we kind of go through these times as things, the ground is moving a little bit underneath us. So as you can see, I have 9 zones, from Minnesota, Wisconsin, to zones that cover Florida and Puerto Rico, and pretty much everything in between. So at this point, we're still identifying key leadership within these zones, and we're going to help these zone leadership to kind of identify council outdoor ethics advocates and conservation committees to kind of help move that aspect of our movement forward. So that's kind of the game plan of my role and what I do on this committee. So I want to talk a little bit about the Distinguished Conservation Service Award, since I worked pretty closely with some of the with the committee as the Hornaday Award was retired and the Distinguished Conservation Service Award was brought into place. So we do have a really cool promotional video, and I'll show you that link when I finish up here. And the idea behind the Distinguished Conservation Service Award is to have scouts, either scouts that are involved in Scouts BSA or venturing and Sea Scouts, work on requirements that help them develop their knowledge base and their skill sets around conservation, and then carry out 2 conservation-based service projects. So, and these service projects are fairly extensive, and there's a lot of material into it. I've got a link in my presentation that would take you to the Distinguished Conservation Service Award, or you can search on scouting.org for it. And there's more information about this out there, but some of the nice things that we found with this is that if you have a conservation-based Eagle Scout, you can use that as for your Distinguished Conservation Service Award, right? With a little bit of work and working through the workbook. So yeah, so we've got some really great material out there, and we're hoping to see a lot more conservation-based service projects with this new award. And this new award is still gonna have, you know, you're gonna get a knot, a really nice certificate, and we encourage any scouts who earn this award to be recognized at the same type of event you would recognize like Eagle Scouts or Silver Beavers. A council type dinner would be very appropriate. So we do have Distinguished Conservation Service Award advisor training available. It is there. It's on my.scouting. I've got a link here. I'll show it to you here as I finish up my presentation. But it takes about, it says 2 hours. I mean, it's closer to between 3 and 4. So I would make sure you budget time. And so if you have any young people that you think could be potentially a really good candidate for getting the Distinguished Conservation Service Award, this is the way to mentor them and help them be successful. Okay? And so we're also putting together a small training to go out to council conservation committees. So right now, one of the reasons why I'm not able to be with you tonight is because I'm working with that task force to put that training together. We're hoping to get that out really soon so that your council conservation committees can help young people be successful at getting their Distinguished Conservation Service Award. So my contact information is ted.weiland@gmail.com. I definitely welcome you know, hearing from you, or if you have questions or concerns. So I wanted to point out a few of the items that I highlighted in my presentation. So this is the video, or a link to the video of the Distinguished Conservation Service Award. This is a great little 5-minute video. It's perfect for roundtable events. So I strongly encourage the use of this. I also wanted to point out the material we've developed on the scouting.org website. So this has got not only the requirements for the award, but it's also got, you know, the access to the workbook and everything like that. So this is a really great resource for conservation committees and advisors to use as they're working with young people to put this all together. And of course, you have to have good, high quality training. And so we have the Distinguished Conservation Service Award advisor training that's accessible here. And I realize it says about 2 hours. I would budget about 3 to 4. But between all of these resources, we're thinking that we've got some of the framework set, and we'll be rolling more material out as it gets developed over the coming months. So thank you kindly for your time this evening, and I hope you find this presentation and these resources useful.
All right, thank you to Ted. And we will now go to our Western Division. There we go. To Chandra Clark, who is here with us tonight, and she will go ahead and take over the presentation from here.
Hello, I'm Chandra Clark. I am based out of Grand Canyon Council currently in Arizona. So I have served as the Western Division Manager since May, when the transition to National Service Territories occurred. Prior to that, when I lived in Texas with Longhorn Council, I served as the Southern Region Outdoor Ethics Coordinator for 2 years. But I'm now in Western Division. So the new division, you probably caught a quick glimpse of it on Marshall's map where it showed the green, the red, and the blue. Western is all the green, a lot of land area. We encompass 19 states and the Pacific, which includes 79 councils. So real quick, Matt, I'm assuming you're driving, or do I have control?
Yes,
Okay.
Just tell me when you want me to change the
Okay,
slide.
go ahead and change. I'm not going to read all of the states, but we'll highlight. We have Zone W1, which includes 12 councils, mainly in the North Pacific area. W2, 10 councils, North California and Hawaii. Next. Zone W3, there are 6 councils. Idaho, Montana, Wyoming is listed, though technically it doesn't host a council, but it would include those scouters and scouts that are in Wyoming boundary and Colorado. Zone W4 is 8 councils, a lot of land in that one to travel in. Zone W5 is 10 councils, all in Southern California. Next, please. Zone W6 is 11 councils up in the north and down through the center, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas. Zone W7, there are 10 councils in southern Texas. And our last one is Zone W8, which is 12 councils in Oklahoma and North Texas. So we have 8 zones in the West. In addition to introducing you to the West Division and the zones, I've been asked to talk about our upcoming Master Educator courses that are going to be hosted. A couple of points, Matt, you can go ahead and, there we go. Go back, there we go. A couple of highlights, if go back to the last one.
Sorry.
It's okay. If you're not familiar with how Master Edu courses are organized, just a couple of highlights. There are 2 different versions of hosts that we have. We have council hosted and we have high adventure base hosted. So this next year, you'll see courses offered in both. We have week-long versus split weekend. If you're familiar, this same concept is used in Wood Badge courses. We have some courses that run a full week and some that are split over 2 weekends with 1 or 2 or 3 weeks in between the 2 weekends. And the final point is there's a difference between a trek course and a non-trek course. Trek course is kind of an adventure. There are several that you'll see listed, and then a non-trek usually requires that we still set up a base camp in a primitive area. And instead of going on an adventure where we break camp each night and move locations, you're actually just going to go out on little day excursions to explore the area that you're in, but your base camp will be in the same spot, so you don't actually have to move that each time. So next slide, please, Matt. Okay, the first one that's going to be coming up is the Iowa Council. They're hosting at Camp Loud Thunder. My screen, there we go. Okay. This is a split weekend course. It's March 18th through 20th, which is a Friday to Sunday, and April 7th through 10th, which is a Thursday through Sunday. Typically on split weekend courses, the second weekend is going to be 4 days, so it accommodates the requirement to have 3 nights in the field. This particular course is non-trek, so there isn't an adventure per se. You'll be going out on day excursions from your base camp. And the division, it obviously is in the Midway and South Division here. Next slide, please. Baltimore Area Council, they are hosting at Broad Creek Memorial Scout Reservation. This is a split weekend course, similar format to the Iowa one that we just talked about. Major difference here is they're going to be hosting 2 trek courses. So you'll have the option between a backpacking course or a canoeing trek course. So when you go to register for that, you'll choose which one you prefer to experience. Okay, and that is in the East Division. Grand Canyon Council, my home council, we're going to be hosting a course at Camp Geronimo. This is a week-long course, May 17th through 22nd. So you come in on Tuesday and you stay and do your entire course. We are hoping to offer 2 courses, a hiking trek, backpacking through the Tonto National Forest, and then non-trek course also based out of Camp Geronimo. And in fact, Matt Durant will be helping to be involved with that course. So that is in the West Division. Next slide, please. Okay, Northern Tier, if you've ever wanted to go up to Northern Tier and experience the high adventure base up there, they will be hosting a week-long course August 14th through 20th, which is a Sunday through Saturday. They obviously do canoe trek course there, and Mark, our fabulous webmaster, will be involved with leading that course. So that will be held in the Midway and South Division. Next slide, please. Okay, Philmont High Adventure Base, another location if you've ever wanted to go experience it. Maybe your scout isn't a hiker, but you still want to go try out Philmont. We highly encourage you to check out this course. Marshall gave a plug for it earlier. It is October 7th through 12th, which is a Friday to a Wednesday backpacking trek course. And they hope to also offer a non-trek course for those who want to stay in more of a base camp scenario. Typically this time of year, you're going to experience some snow while you're there. So come prepared for all seasons there. But that will be in our West Division. I believe that's the last one. Yep. So be sure to check the calendar for updates. I've given the link there. We'll provide it in the chat as well, but you can also find it by going to our outdoorethics-bsa.org website. You'll see the calendar on the right-hand column there. But as we get courses approved and finalized, we'll post those with the links on how to register. Next slide, please. If you're interested in hosting a Master Educator course at your council, there's information. I've provided the link there, but you can also reach out to any of the division managers, Ted, Marshall, or myself. You can contact us and we can certainly work with your council to put you guys on the calendar if you'd like to host a Master Educator course there. All right. So thank you for your time.
All right, just another reminder, please remember to fill out the roundtable evaluation. The real Paul will be putting that link in the chat several times so that you'll be able to find that and go and give us an evaluation and share your feedback with us so that we can continue to improve and stay in contact with you so we know what you want to learn about. All right, with that said, we are going to send it over to Paula Booth now, who is going to take the remainder of our time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Paula Booth, and I am the Vice Chair of Program Operations for Outdoor Ethics and Conservation. I was a past region coordinator. Wait a minute, I don't have my face on. I was a past region coordinator for several years for Western region. And I was in venturing since there was venturing. And so I would like to also share my most awesome moment in scouting was when I got to welcome everybody to Utah for the 2016 Outdoor Ethics National Conference. And it was a great experience with 5 of the most awesome area people ever put together anywhere. I also got my hand still in my council. I'm the COEA for my council, Council Outdoor Ethics Advocate. And I also teach wilderness and remote for the council, and I teach paddlecraft safety. So you'll never guess what kind of treks I like to go on. So we're going to, next slide. All right, now you've seen this before, but this is, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this slide. The second slide is, who's next to me? Mark is, and Mark is here tonight. He's our illustrious, wonderful webmaster, and he does communications, and he does one terrific job doing that. And actually, he's always one of those people that always answers your question, no matter how stupid it is. And the next area that we have is with Charlie Thorpe, and it's the assets and our curriculum. So they write it, and then they have to keep it, and then they have to update it when it needs it. I think Mark helps them with that. And then our new group is the conservation folks, and they're in that next one, and that's with Mike Hunnicky. And we're all very new to each other, and so we're working to get this all in process. So periodically during next year, you'll be having those folks on to tell you a little bit more about what they do and when they do it. And then you'll see a white line, and that is special projects. So the people that are in charge of our portion of the National Outdoor Programs Conference are in there. Venturing Fest, jamborees, all kinds of things. Oh yeah, and our National Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Program. And I'm not really sure what, there was a question that actually fits in here. Our two committees were put together to function together, and because we're the closest that can work together. Actually, Ted Weiland is a master educator, and he has joined us in the as one of the managers, and it's in the area where he lives. So there's a lot of people and places that he knows. He was deeply involved in the Northern Tier in conservation, and that's where he did his master educator course. And he was also deeply into conservation at Philmont Ranch. And someday we'll show you that video.
Paula, there is a question that you might want to answer now. It got asked, what is the relationship between the Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Subcommittee and the National Conservation and Environment Subcommittee? Is this the two that have been combined to a single entity?
Okay, the environment and conservation, that is the same thing as this conservation committee. The conservation is all encompassing. That very last line that you see on there is agency folks. That's their biggest part of the conservation committee. They have those partnerships and the memorandums of understanding. So those two are the people that have joined us. Now, just because they're with us does not make this a model for your council. If you have a conservation committee and an outdoor ethics committee, that's wonderful. They put us together because of, I think, maybe to cut down on some staff. But we're very excited to have them. A lot of the people that are in the conservation committee have been partners with us on several projects, and some of them are also master educators, so that we all work together over and over again. And I hope that answers your question, but they are the same people. If not, just throw it back in there and we'll see what we come up with. Across the bottom here are our people emeritus, like our past chairs of the, let's see, it started out as Leave No Trace and then morphed into all kinds of stuff. And actually now we are a subcommittee of a subcommittee. The Outdoor Programs and Property is a subcommittee of another committee, and we are a subcommittee of them. Okay. Now, they mentioned work group. Somebody did, and Marshall did, work group. And Matt, if you would go to the next slide. Now, this is a really important part, at least of the program operations group. So a work group is a small group of volunteers led by a committee member that focuses on a specific need or topic. Work groups allow our committee to use the expertise of scouting volunteers to help accomplish our goals. So what that means is we form a group to do a certain task, which we did. And some of you may have seen the Cub Scout program that was put on by the Roundtable. That was the culmination of the Cub Scout Initiatives group. And when the last pieces of every month so far, they put in 5 more plans, action plans or activity plans for you guys to use, you people to use for program for Cub Scouts. And so now currently we have 2 work groups operating in outdoor programs. One is the Roundtable, which those are the folks that run this operation, and that would be Matt and the real Paul Simke and Chandra Clark and Michelle Bierstadt and myself. We have 1 person missing tonight because of overwork. And now we have a group that is forming to help out to put outdoor ethics into the family adventure camp. And that's a program work group. And when it's finished, it will go into something else, or we'll pick up another group as we need it to do program. Next slide. Okay, so this is just a summation of what you have heard. You didn't get to hear that Midway South has 9 zones. They have 16 states plus Puerto Rico and 87 councils. The reason their council number is lower is because they have Michigan, who has 6 service areas. So that might be considered in some places 6 councils. And then, so let's see. Okay, next. So they've shown you this picture before, and this is the different places where the division managers work. And Marshall's in blue, and the red ones are Ted, and he is Midway South, and then Chandra has the West. Now, the West looks very large, but some of those states only have 1 council. And some of I think there's a couple somewhere else that only have 1 council. But they also take on Alaska, and way out in the ocean, they have the Far East Council. It's over in Taiwan. Chandra, where is it?
Far East Councils, Japan, and Taiwan. Asia.
Okay, I thought it was. I just want to make sure. Thank you. So they spread out quite a bit, and Hawaii is also in there, and Hawaii is hooked to California. So, all right. So the managers have a big job because they handle all the people that are being worked with now to become outdoor ethics conservation coordinators. The coordinators do much the same as the area people did, but there is more involved because we now have conservation committees that we can assist because we have the conservation group with us. And so by almost the same way that we would work with a council, the council is always the person in charge, and the council picks their people. And if anybody is needed and is asked for, it goes through a process. So the people that will be the outdoor ethics conservation coordinators will be asked for, and then the council has the determination whether they say yes or no. If they can't let them go, then we look for someone else. But that's the vetting process has always been the same in the Outdoor Ethics Committee. We ask for somebody, and then our advisors take care of that. Next slide. Now, just remember this, all your managers are your friend and they're ready to help. So until we get those coordinators in position, please contact them. And we'll have Mark talk a little bit about how you can reach them because they have a place where their own email for that area. And so Marshallberger is the east, Ted Weiland is Midway west, south. I did that before. And then Chandra has the west. Next slide. Now this slide is to show you that on the very left, we have two little balloons. One of them is the committee, the big committee, the full committee with everybody. And then the next one is showing the people that are working in program operations. So you'll notice that there's 3 managers in program operations, and then they have a secondary. We're working on that too. And then we have the 2 blue balloons off of each one. One is in the council, their conservation committee, because that's very important for the Distinguished Conservation Service Award, because the youth need to take that project to that committee to get it approved before they start that award. And if they don't, the council has someone that they have appointed to be able to be that person or persons to make sure that that youth gets started on that award. And then we have, of course, the outdoor ethics advocate. And so for each group, that's what that looks like. And the job of the outdoor ethics conservation coordinator is to assist with the councils when they need help, they'll let us know. They have a process because we have advocates or we have people that we have been working with ever since we started as a committee in Leave No Trace. And so we've always been able to reach down to the council. So now they're going to be reaching back up to us instead. And so we make sure that they have what they need, the updates and everything to make their program strong, because now outdoor ethics is in every single program level. And so it's very important that we help them keep that going strong. And the conservation committee is really important because of the Distinguished Service Conservation Award. They're also going to be handing out at some point soon, and it'll probably come through this chain down to your councils from us. They're putting together a packet on committee things, how to start a committee maybe, or different places to look to get a committee going. And so they're making like a toolbox to send down to you. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so your outdoor ethics conservation coordinator will be there to help. It's in the works. So your first choice is always, if you need help, is to go to your council outdoor ethics advocate or to your conservation committee. And those people should be able to help you. And if not, there is somebody in your council that is designated to do or to help you with that. Sometimes it's the camping committee or could be the training committee, but there's some group that you're attached to somehow for that, to get that done. All kinds of information and the Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Council Service Plan is also on the website, outdoorethics-bsa.org. And if you haven't ever been there, you really should go there and wander. You could probably get lost, but it'll get you back to the beginning at some point. But all of our roundtables are on there that we've done, and all kinds of informational pieces and updates. And there's who's who in your council for outdoor ethics and conservation, people that you can contact. So that's a very good place to go to start. Next. Now here's the fun part. And we even had a roundtable on it for reporting. So this report is a little bit different. It has a nice form and it's turned on and it's on that website. And each council outdoor ethics advocate is supposed to or should be encouraged to put on their, we have the master educator courses, but we don't have all the trainer courses because they're reported to Leave No Trace or Tread Lightly. So those things need to be reported to us so that we can help. Now, this is a very important piece because it helps the advocate, it helps the council, and it helps the authorization when we're able to tell the Leave No Trace Center just exactly how many trainings we did, master educator courses we did, awareness courses, all kinds of stuff. So it's really important that we turn in. And if you don't have an advocate, somebody in your council should be appointed to go there and report and say, hi, we're here. We did these trainings, because most of the trainings that we have, if you look at it, IOLS and BALU and all those trainings have outdoor ethics component, as well as wood badge, all kinds. So there's all kinds of things that are on there that you've done in your council that you can report. Mark, was there something you were going to say here?
No, just, those of you who have been around a while have probably submitted these things many times, and there's only one new question on the form this year. It's the same information we gathered before. And the one new question is, do you have a council conservation committee chair? Because we need to start figuring out who those are and get connected with those. So if you can help us figure out who those folks are in your council, that's the one new question on the annual survey. So those of you who are new to the outdoor ethics advocate role, please go to outdoorethics-bsa.org and click on that annual survey. And key thing I want to mention is, this is set up so that you don't have to gather all of that information before you submit the form. We would really love to have you, go in and hit that form and fill in the information that you have and submit it, and then keep working on it. And as you come up with additional information, you can, when you submit that, you will get an email that has the link that lets you go back in and update that. So, the previous version that we had a few years ago, you had one shot at it. So you had to, get all your data and then one to get it submitted. You can gradually add to that, and hopefully make it easier for you to get us data. If you don't have all the data, give us what you do have. Any data you have helps. So
I knew you had something to say, Mark.
I thought you were going to say some of that, but sure.
No. Thank you very much. Okay, next slide, please.
Again, just a reminder to fill out the evaluation. It's in the chat. It's been posted several times.
So is there another slide? Okay, so are there any questions? I have a question. Matt, do you have the slide that you can put on that promotion piece for the conservation in Ted's pile of stuff? There was a slide that had the link to it.
I don't think that I had a slide for the Distinguished Conservation Service Award.
Mm-hmm. The promotion piece.
If there was a slide for that, it did not come through to me.
And neither did his presentation, correct?
The video that you saw is what I got from it.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so did we have any extra questions, Paul?
Yeah, we had a couple of questions here. One question was, I asked this question, and one of me asked this question. Will there be a booth at the national meeting in May?
Good question. Okay, we will get back to you on that one.
Okay. And another question that was asked is, you mentioned that there were memorandums of understanding with the partner organizations. Are those documents viewable, or is there some place that we can see those?
Yes, there is, and I will get the link to that for you because we have memorandums of understanding with a whole lot of people that are a lot of people that I didn't know about till I wandered through there and found some. The Sustainable Forest Initiative and Project Learning Tree and people we may be doing their courses and things all the time and just don't know it.
Okay. Do we have any idea when the new DCSA award medal will be available?
The one person that could tell you that is not here,
Okay.
but we will get that answer because I can get that for you. Okay, any other questions, folks? Well then, Matt, can you stop the recording?
I will do so right now.